How's it going today, guys? In this video I'm going to be showing you how to MOLLE your knife and sheath to your MOLLE webbing, whether that's on a belt or a plate carrier or backpack or whatever you may have it. These are just some tools that are going to make it a little bit easier. The paracord here is 750 paracord. It's from Tough Grid. They're supposed to have some pretty good paracord. I just got it off Amazon, but this is the forest color, forest camo, something like that. Pretty cheap. I have about 6 feet here. I would rather cut more and have more than cut less, depending on how big the knife is or whatever you may have. Just always cut a little bit more so you have enough if you're trying to do some extra weaving or whatever. Now, paracording a knife is going to be a lot more difficult if you have like a leather or some other type of sheath. This is a Kydex sheath. This is the SOCOM Alpha Mini knife with the Kydex sheath from Microtech. So it has these little holes here which make it 10 times easier and more secure to MOLLE it to here. So if you're going to be trying to MOLLE a knife, I would recommend you get a knife that has a Kydex sheath or get one made that can fit your knife. So just want some paracord, your knife, some type of knife to cut paracord to length. You want a lighter to make sure that you burn the tips, as you can see right there, burn the tips to where it's a solid little, almost a little rock on the end, so you can push that through and the white fabric inside doesn't burst out. So make sure those are burned and so it doesn't destroy your paracord. Some little screwdriver will help, preferably a flathead screwdriver, in pushing the paracord through the MOLLE webbing. And then you can have some type of needle nose, small needle nose pliers to pull it through when you're having to tighten it down. When you're mounting this, you just want to make sure the knife is oriented the right way. So whichever side you have it on or wherever you go to pull it out, you want to make sure that when you're grabbing the knife, it's coming out in the way you want it. Why I prefer to mount it on the belt is because I try to keep as much weight off the plate carrier as possible. When I have my sidearm, it's obviously mounted on my belt, and I'm not mounting my sidearm on my plate carrier. Number one, for weight. Number two, for ease of draw. That's the same thing with this knife. Taking the weight off my shoulders, and also it's very easy to draw when you have it right behind your firearm. Some people like it up front, towards the front of the belt buckle, but I prefer it here. Just kind of figure out wherever you like it. I think right behind the pistol is the best option. I'm not going to be trying to draw my firearm and draw my knife at the same time. The knife is kind of your third or last resort. So if for some reason my pistol and my rifle are down, obviously I would make sure my hands were free and then to draw my knife. I'm not going to be trying to use my knife and my firearm at the same time, especially if you're already in some type of fight or combative situation. You're either going to be fighting for your firearm or fighting to get to your knife. So this is why I like to keep it here. Another thing for mounting, I want to try to get it as low as possible. If I mount it up here, it's just so high up, it's going to be kind of almost sticking into my rib cage or close to my rib cage. So I'm going to try to mount it here. So with that being, find where you want your knife to be mounted. For me, it's as low as possible on the belt. Just make sure you know where you want to mount it. So I'm going to start the paracord here. Just going to take one end, take it through there, kind of like you're lacing a boot. Just make sure you have equal length on both sides so you don't run into one side being shorter than the other when you go to cut it and you don't have enough paracord. You want to try to take everything off your belt or whatever you're MOLLEing or paracording it to, so it's as easy to paracord as possible and you don't have a ton of weight. And like lacing a boot, you want to crisscross or really wrench that down or get as many contact points as possible. I'm going to try to make this look as clean as possible, but if you want, you can go around the outsides as much as you want. Just depends how you want to weave it through. I know for this belt there's not a lot of MOLLE, so I have limited real estate and I also have limited holes that I can try to use. Now that I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and crisscross this under here. Now with MOLLE, if you bend it like on a belt, it will give me a bigger gap. So I'll be doing some of that. See if I bend it a little bit and put some pressure, I can get that under there. Notice I'm crisscrossing these for a reason. So my knife's gonna go here, but I'm going ahead and crisscross them in advance. That just kind of like a boot or a shoe gives you the most strength. If you push in right there too, it also makes it a little bit easier. So I'm gonna go through my first layer. Another thing to mention, I don't like huge knives. Again, weight purposes, I think this is the perfect knife. I know some people like to carry huge knives, like the Marines back in the day used to carry the big Kabars. Great knife, I don't have anything against it. I just prefer something a little bit smaller. I don't see the point in trying to hack someone, but really the only point is going to be to stab or slice. Hacking, maybe if you're out in the forest and you're trying to hack some leaves or limbs down, okay, but I like a smaller knife for weight, but enough to still be decently lethal with it. So if you can see, now you're going to leave everything pretty loose until you get it tightened down, or everything to where you need it to go. So it's going to look bad and it's going to kind of be really weavy, but just leave it loose for now. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to crisscross again. So I'm going to go underneath to my second hole and crisscross it. Do the same for over here. Go underneath at the crisscross. Crisscross that there. Now going to go ahead and tie a little knot like that. Doesn't have to be super tight. Now if this is 750 paracord, if you have something smaller like 550 paracord, it's a little bit easier to get more paracords in these holes or notches. So if you are trying to paracord a knife, I think 550 is a little bit better for size, but it's still strong enough just so I can get more through here. Over the top, and then take my next one, go ahead and go under the MOLLE. Again, this can be loose, that's no problem. I'm going to take my other side that's crisscrossed, go under this other MOLLE. You can see there, getting that under. Now if you had some smaller MOLLE, you could make it go through there and it would look a little nicer, but it is what it is. Again, I'm going to do another little tie knot right there. I'm going to do a little cross. I'm going to take my left side of that cross, go through this last hole. If I had another hole here at the top, I would do that with the other side. Go ahead and pull that like that. I'm going to take that, I'm going to go down through the MOLLE. Now you can just be done here and you could just tie a knot right there, but I'm going to try to secure it to the bottom a little bit better. So I'm going to take the MOLLE that I just poked through there and go back through this top piece of MOLLE. So that top piece, I'm going to go back through there. I'm going to go through there and then I'm going to go down back through the second piece of MOLLE. So I got it through those two pieces. So you can see I'm gonna pull that through. I'm gonna do the same with this other side. Gonna pass it through the webbing. And go back down through the second piece. So I got it through there. I'm going to go ahead and pull it through. Now, because of that hump right there, this isn't going to slide over when I tighten that down. Now you can do the next part however you'd like. I'm going to crisscross again, right over top, and then go down through my holes. Now when I go to start tightening that up, which I'll do now, I'm just going to pull the slack out of all of this. You want to start pulling the slack out of here, then here, then here, and then go back down. This is the most important because this is going to line up the height that I want lined up. So, as you can see, I'm about 2 feet long, so you can do more like 4 to 5 feet, depending on how much you think you need. Now I can make my little knot under here. After that, I'm just going to take both of my ends, put it through. I'm going to fish this all the way down. You can tie whatever knot you want to tie. This is just what I like to tie. Seems to do a pretty good job of holding this stuff down. After I got that nice and tight, you can go ahead and take my knife, cut both of these. You want to leave a little bit of a nub so it doesn't pull through. So I'll just leave maybe like a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. Do the same for the other side. Go ahead and burn these down. Kind of pat that into a little ball. It will be hot, so be careful. Just pat this little edge into a ball. Do the same for the other side. So they're nubs and then they kind of form and stick together. Do it a little bit more. Now both of those are nice and solid. Now Now there's the after picture. I would have liked to get it a little bit better looking than that, but because this is 750, I wasn't able to pass it through as much as I would liked. But it doesn't really matter, it's going to get beat up regardless, but looks pretty good for the most part. And this is not going anywhere. I mean, it doesn't even, if you can see right there, it's not pulling. It's not pulling off that at all. So this is nice and sturdy. Your knife's not going to go anywhere. If anything, your belt is going to be moving before your knife is actually moving. So this is a very sturdy and nice option for mounting your knife to MOLLE, probably the best I've seen. I will upcomingly be making a in-depth review on everything that's on this belt right here. Pretty nice belt for the most part. If you want to see more videos like this or have any specific videos you want to see, feel free to comment down below. And if you guys could leave a like, subscribe, and share, I would really appreciate it, and it would really help the channel. Thank you for watching.